Hi, Siri. I'm looking for a new podcast, one that preferably is hosted by a UF Hall of Famer, one that airs every weekday that would bring me everything I need to know about the Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions. Siri, is there such a show?
Have you heard of PodUp with Matthews in the morning on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or any podcast platform?
Oh my gosh, why didn't I think of that? UF Hall of Famer Shane Matthews has a show every weekday. I'm gonna go check it out tomorrow. Thanks, Siri.
Good morning. It's a live edition. It is PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. It's Wednesday. We're gonna have JC, and we got some stuff to talk about, not a whole lot. It's bye week, so it's kind of quiet around here. If you missed it last night, for the ones that tuned in, the NBA cranked up, and one of JC's many teams that he loves, the Celtics. The Celtics hit I think it was an NBA record. They made 29 three-pointers.
I think they were
in their win. And then I know JC stayed up for the history that was made in Los Angeles when Bronny and his daddy checked in and played about 5 minutes together. So, did you watch that, JC? Good morning. You're on the Titan Tomorrow Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. You stayed up to watch it. Don't lie.
Shockingly, I don't know how I missed that. I just somehow did. I missed everything, basketball. And, I'm not thinking about that. I'm not actually thinking about hockey. All I'm thinking about is the next 6 weeks of college football. And, of course, I follow the NFL pretty heavily. And, when your team is losing, it sure is nice to have something like a Hard Rock sports betting app to ease your pain. Now, some folks would say it could add to your pain, JC. Well, get smarter and bet better. That's all I would say. But it is fun. You keep it fun, then it doesn't ruin anything. And so, bet what you can afford to lose. And if you do that, you will enjoy watching these games in a different way. I enjoyed hearing Buddy Martin, in his many years of wisdom, finally admit that he might throw a buck or two down on a game. And that
was funny. Although Buddy owes me $1,000.
What? $1,000? Did he borrow something from you?
Because he compared back in in the spring. He said Jaden Ball reminds me of Herschel Walker. And I'm like, buddy, what? There's no comparison. And then the other night on his show, he's like, I never said that. And of course he did. We have it documented. And he's like, I will pay you $1,000 if I said that. Yeah.
Well, you better start.
We may let Buddy get a buyout. We'll give him a buyout.
Give him a buyout. But no, so when when everybody's ready to hang, well, I shouldn't say that, but when everybody's ready to chastise the Alabama coach and the Texas coach for losing football games, it just makes me just giggle at the insanity of it all. It really does. And I just hope that, the SEC and the Big Ten, they get together, they talk, who knows what they talk about, but I just hope the SEC goes to 9 games. And I know that this conference eats its young. It does. It just cannibalizes each other, but it truly shows the best football in the country on a consistent basis from top to bottom. Nobody can argue that. And if they try to argue it, then they're just partisan and secular about it all. And I simply think that when you've got games like what we had last weekend with Georgia and Texas, let's say, those are playoff type games. And that's what you're getting in conference now. And the league needs to go to 9 games. And that way more people can play each other. If you keep it at 8 games, you simply won't have the opportunity to play certain teams. And that creates an imbalance that I don't think is fair. One imbalance that I don't think is fair is what we're about to go through here at the University of Florida for the next 4 weeks. And I only say that because it just seems to line up that these 4 teams happen to be very good with great quarterbacks. And I just want Gator fans to keep some perspective. You have won 4 games. That is great. You have beaten 4 average to bad offensive teams. At the time, Mississippi State was bad on offense. They didn't have the quarterback, but they still ran the ball. Okay, the point is that you're coming up now. You're going to find religion with these next 4 games. And the quarterbacks that you play are going to tell you where you have to change your team, where you have to get better, I guess. And I know you agree that these four guys are going to show nobody in the country has to line up against that kind of talent.
You got the best. I mean, you got the best offenses and the best quarterbacks in the league in the next 4 weeks.
Maybe in college football, QB. Maybe in the whole damn thing. Yeah.
Kanye Ron. First of all, before we get to his question and comment, Tony says on Facebook Live the league is going to 9, which is why NC State and the Cal series were canceled.
What
did you? I know you probably didn't. Yeah, we were supposed to play NC State and Cal in the next couple of years, but they canceled that.
Understood. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So JC, I'm sure now that Alabama has 2 losses. You did not, and I didn't even know it was coming on. I just had it on the TV for somehow, and I walked by, and the 12-team playoff special thing came on. It was the first one. Did you see any of that?
No, and I didn't, and I regret that I missed that. I don't know how I forgot about it. I think I was moving furniture, QB. I've got furniture coming this afternoon, and I was clearing out.
Well, they'll usually do that if you buy new furniture. They'll bring that in, and then they will move your old furniture or give it or whatever. All right. So regardless,
no.
So it was interesting. It was interesting because in the top 12 right now, and it's going to change way more faster and quicker and more than it did in the past, the way it used to work.
Right.
Because like right now, they don't even have Texas A&M in the top 12. They have LSU as like the 6 or 7 seed.
No.
But LSU can be out immediately if A&M beats them. So I thought it was very interesting.
So
I really wasn't watching it all, so I can't really comment on it. But I just thought it was kind of cool.
Well,
so
it's
anyway,
a made-for-TV event, just like that crap they had last year and many years before.
Well, it's totally different because that was just 4 teams, and you kind of knew what was going to happen. You have no idea now because they had both BYU and Iowa State was the 4 seed, JC.
Right. That can definitely change.
Yeah. And BYU's in the Big 12 as well, and they're undefeated. They were like the 9 seed. So I don't know how they figured that out because I don't know how they had A&M not in there, but LSU in there. So regardless, it doesn't matter. Kanye Ryan says, what's the deal with Army Navy? Their game is after the playoff selection and their conference championship game. Will Army Navy play twice? Yes. Well, possibly. So I think I talked about this in the program.
Okay.
Army and Navy play their regular season finale is the week after championship weekend. So because it's a spectacle and they want all eyes on that game. So the previous week, if both teams are still undefeated, or if they have, I should say undefeated, but if they have their best records in the American Athletic Conference, they will play in their championship game.
Yeah.
And then they will play again the following week.
Wow. I never thought of that.
You didn't know that, JC? You must have I must have talked about it when you weren't on.
You must have, but that is fascinating.
But think about this. Think about this. So Navy plays Notre Dame this week. Let's just say hypothetically that Notre Dame and Navy and Army go undefeated. Okay. Run the table. They play in the AAC championship game. Let's say Army beats Navy.
And then Navy comes back.
They're the champs. And then the next week, Navy beats Army. What happens?
Yeah, and that could hurt. But you've got to go with the highest group of 5 champion. So that could be Boise State for all we know. So it could also be Army or Navy, whoever wins that conference. And maybe.
But here's the thing: is like it's after, when you look at it, if Army or Navy goes undefeated, and Boise wins their conference with 1 loss at Oregon, which was close. What's going to happen?
Well, that's a great point, and it kind of almost diminishes the value of the game on December 15th after the championship weekend, because if you take Navy on selection Sunday or Saturday Sunday because they won the AAC as the highest ranked group of 5 champion, then what's the point of playing in the next game if they've already beat Army, right? So,
okay, I got people asking, what's the deal with Sully resigning? Okay. If anybody knows anything about that, they need to let us know because I do not. I've not heard of that. Okay. No. Back to this till somebody lets me know. The one person that would know that would be Tony. Tony, let me know if Sully resigned.
Out of the loop. I would have heard that though. I would have heard that from some of my baseball junkie friends who buy season tickets and follow the Gators religiously in baseball. They would have said something. And none of that came across the phone here. I would have seen that.
Yeah, it would have been on our Twitter feeds. All right, listen to this scenario in the Big Ten, JC.
Yeah.
Indiana could go 11-1.
They could
go 8-1 in conference with, say, a loss to Ohio State.
Okay.
Oregon can go 11-1
with a beat over Ohio State.
Yeah. Ohio State can go 11-1 with their loss to Oregon. Penn State could possibly go 11-1 if they lose to Ohio State. And Illinois could go 11-1 with a loss to Penn State. So having said all that, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 teams. They could go 11-1 in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
None of those play each other.
Wow. Well, Big Ten has 18 teams. It's the Big 18. So maybe they should play 10 conference games. I don't know, QB. It's that is crazy. If 5 teams out of that Big 18 conference.
Well, Oregon. This is incorrect. This guy, whoever posted this on Twitter.
Okay.
Oregon is undefeated. They cannot lose to Illinois because I think they've already beaten Illinois, or maybe they haven't.
No,
maybe they haven't played Illinois yet. These are all just scenarios. So maybe it is. I don't really care.
It's like we used to say in the old days. It's all going to come out in the wash, QB. You've got a big game coming up in a week at Happy Valley with Ohio State and Penn State, and you've got this game with Texas A&M and LSU this weekend. So we're going to see some teams finally get some L's in the conference column of their record. So
Buck says Indiana's a damn good football team. They are, but their quarterback's out. I don't know how long he's out.
Well, so I got word that he had surgery on his thumb and that it was not expected to keep him out for long. I don't know. I mean, you have surgery on your thumb. I would think that's going to take a while to rehab and get better. But, the kid they had backing up did very fine. He did fine. Now, that was garbage time against Nebraska, who had at the time just quit. The game was over. They will be, tested this weekend. And then I think they've got Michigan coming in that presents a lot of problems on the defensive end. And so they're going to need this kid, Curtis Rourke, to get back in
Ohio Bobcat.
Yeah, he has really done some great things. They love that back shoulder pass. Signetti, that is one of his trademark plays. They call that all the time. And that kid has mastered that back shoulder pass to get the defense offline. And they are very good offensively, Indiana. So they need that kid to get well, and hopefully he will. I'm pulling for Indiana. I mean, who doesn't love that story right now in the Big Ten? It's a lot more exciting than listening to Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State fans. So I hope Indiana and Illinois, beating Michigan last weekend, I'm sure that's the feeling that many fans have when Alabama loses to somebody. Oh, it's great to see the Titan come down. Michigan's a defending national champion that's got quite a few losses this year, and so they're going through some agony right now at 4-3, and they've got Michigan State this weekend, so they have to be careful about that one. Michigan State had a big win last weekend, so it's really entertaining to watch. I'm really intrigued by these conference races, and I do like the consolidation of some of these teams into these bigger conferences. I think I do like that. I think we're going to see Miami continue to stay unbeaten. They're going to just absolutely trash Florida State this weekend, QB. I think you agree with that. But an interesting game coming that we'll probably talk about more on Friday is Texas at Vanderbilt. And I don't know, but I think Vanderbilt is in for a long day because I think you're going to have an angry Texas Longhorn team show up in Nashville.
The backup for Indiana now I guess their starter is a guy named Taven Jackson.
Yeah, and he did a very, very good job coming in. They kept throwing the ball. I mean, this guy kept throwing the ball, and they got him some good reps because I think they knew that he could be the guy they're going to have to lean on in the next few months or weeks, rather. I will also say that the agony, despair, and gloom in Oklahoma is permeating through the world, and they've got a tough one with Mississippi coming off an open day. I expect Ole Miss to win that game by as many they can name the score.
Yeah, somebody said Taven Jackson's a transfer from Tennessee. I just looked it up. I don't think he did, or maybe he did.
Well, he's playing. He's starting against Washington this weekend, and it's it's going to be a really excited crowd there in Bloomington, Indiana. Another good game, QB, Notre Dame and Navy. I don't know, but you tell me. You giving me Navy and that quarterback with 12 points against Notre Dame? I think I like that. I like that a lot.
I
So,
do. I hate Notre Dame, so I'm going to pull for the
well,
midshipmen
Army and
regardless.
Navy play them this year, QB.
Yeah.
Army and Navy
I
play
think
Notre
Army's
Dame.
a little bit better than Navy.
Maybe,
Um,
maybe. This Bryson Daly at Army is unbelievable, but Navy's got a good one too. I mean, that kid can play. It's just so exciting to see the service academies score points, and they don't just play this 2-hour game of football where they used to just run the ball every single play and throw it once. This is better football, and give Bob Newberry, the coach at Navy, and Jeff Monken, the coach at Army, all the credit in the world. This guy Monken, Jeff Monken, has been amazing at Army, dude. He's made them so competitive, and now they have a quarterback. So, who gets the ball in the end zone. He may not be the greatest passer in the world, but boy, he can get the ball in the end zone. That's his job.
yeah, for sure. A lot of people are giving you a hard time here, JC. They
Yeah.
say they want to know if you're a Lakers or a Harlem Globetrotters fan since you're a Alabama, Yankees, Cowboys fan.
I like who I like, but my 4 core teams: Celtics, Bruins, Yankees, Rams. Okay. But that doesn't mean I can't like the Jags. Okay. I live 8 minutes away. So, I mean, what's the problem? And then, you like the Saints, but you probably also like, whoever your favorite quarterback's playing for. So, I mean, that's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Who cares? I'll tell you, I like Army too. How about Army? My cousin was a 2-star general, brigadier general in the Army. Actually, may have been a major general for all I know. I think
you know how people travel around. I know you've been to it. People go to. I want to go to Lambeau Field. I want to go to.
Yeah.
I think the only game that I would want to do this, because I do not like to go to games,
No, you
would
don't.
be Army Navy.
Yeah, well, I went once, and it was a boring as hell game, but it was a lot of fun. Now they're going to have both. They're going to have a lot of fun, and they may be a little less hospitable to each other because they know their teams are really good and they want to win badly. Before, it was more of just a reunion, and whoever won the game, that was an added bonus, but nobody walked out of that stadium crying. And now it's like, wow, there's something that matters now. This actually has meaning. We're going to actually focus on the game. This is going to be more than just a reunion. Now they're playing it in Maryland this year. They're going to play it in between Baltimore and where the Commanders play, in Landover, Maryland, wherever it is. And that's not really
at FedEx Field.
Yeah, they're going to play,
or whatever it's called.
Yeah, and that's not what they want. They want to play it in Philly. They want to play it in the metropolitan area, and for some reason they put it in DC/Baltimore. And it's, but anyway, it's kind of like playing in the Meadowlands. What's the point of that? There's nothing around. It's just a stadium with a parking lot. So anyway, they're
not going to play it on campus. So what does it matter?
Well, because in Philadelphia, it does matter. That's the traditional home of the game, and it's the city environment there. You get out of a Lincoln Financial Field, you get on the train, you're in downtown Philadelphia to do all the fun things you want to do. Whereas in the Meadowlands or in this place where they're going to play this year, you got to find buses just to find, something that looks like civilization, because these stadiums are very remote. So, I mean, for 8-10 miles. So it's not quite the same thing. But
Brandon wants to know, JC, do you have a tea time next Friday?
Next Friday? I can't think that far ahead. I don't even know what I'm doing day after tomorrow, QB. I know
I'm just reading what they asked.
No, Brandon, thank you for asking. I know you want to play golf. I don't know. I just can't say for sure. I know I've got furniture coming today, and I've got my yard guy going to put $2,600 worth of mulch in the yard.
That's a lot of mulch, JC.
It's ridiculous. It's a money pit. So we got to do something about that. But QB, the thing is that Florida. Let me ask you this. I was going to ask you this. I got off track earlier. With DJ Lagway being your really only option at quarterback right now, does that change at all anything that Billy does with him handling the ball in terms of calling running plays?
No, he called a bunch of them the other night.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But I mean, that's his first start. Okay, so.
DJ's an intelligent and has great football IQ.
I'm glad to know that. I hope he stays safe and healthy.
Well, if you watch him play, he does. He's played.
I do watch.
He's been very smart every time he's run the football this year.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I like that because he's their only chance in these next 4 games.
This is from Chris and Mayak on the Titan More text line. He says, "What a publicity stunt last night. Good for ratings, I guess. when the Griffeys played together, it was legitimate. Bronny is an average G League player at best and shouldn't be in the NBA. I agree 100% with that.
I didn't even know NBA started last night. I'm sorry to say that.
You mean your team that you claim to like got their rings last night, JC?
I'll talk about it in April. I'll root for
but they get their rings and they hang the banners on opening night.
Yeah, I mean 18 now. So I think it's 18 or 19, 18 championship. Yeah, no, it's wonderful. I love
Daniel wants to know how many yards of mulch was that, JC, because he's in the lawn business in Georgia and you may have got ripped off.
It's over 35. Maybe 40. I could be a little off there, but it is what it is. I'm not doing the work, thank God. And they're going to take care of it. Thank you for asking that, Daniel. I'll figure it out.
They're looking out for your best interest, JC. Daryl on the Titan MR text line says, last Saturday night was a good win for the Gators, but I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid because Kentucky is an average football team.
Yeah.
All I want is Florida to have a chance against Georgia and a shot to win in the fourth quarter. Maybe we can win 2 out of the remaining
That's it.
games to make a bowl.
2's the number. Get to 6 wins, QB. This guy goes 6-6 or 7-5. I've got to tell you, for all the folks that had him walking out or being chased out of town a month ago, he's not going anywhere. Not going anywhere.
Well, okay. Well, Brian asked on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, QB and JC, do y'all want the Gators to win 5 of the next games and get a playoff spot, or lose those games so they fire Billy to hire Lane?
Choice A. What the hell? Of course,
nobody's rooting for anybody to lose a game.
Listen. Let me just think about it. You're thinking about everything changes if they win 5 games and go to the playoff. Okay, now all of a sudden you're going to extend the guy. Okay, a month ago you were running him out of town, including myself, and now we're going to extend him if he wins the next 5 games. I can tell you that will happen. So, listen. It's about winning football games. The only thing that matters is winning football games on Saturday, man. I don't give a damn who the coach is, frankly. If they win football games, I'm happy about it. But I just want to see them win football games. And my God, nobody, and I mean nobody, can compare what the next 4 weeks is going to be like in this country to what the Gators are going to look at. I just want folks to be grounded. I don't want them thinking, let's get ready to go to New Year's Day bowl games. All right, don't think that way right now. Just think about winning one at a time. It's cliched, but if they pull 2 out of 4 on this run, and maybe it's the 2 home games. And by the way, Kyle and Tony and all of them are staying at the house. So I hope you show up and come visit. I would be very disappointed if you didn't bring your ass over here and visit, because that's going to be crazy. 7 people in this.
Oh, Matt says on Facebook Live, he says pine straw, and Matt's from Mississippi, and that's what we do. That's what we do in Mississippi. Pine straw is better than the mulch, JC. It doesn't last longer, and it doesn't fade as quickly. Yeah, and it doesn't get everywhere.
Okay, fine, I get it.
But nobody uses pine straw.
No, this place has got mulch around.
You should do that, JC. Be different. Andy's question: do you think Tank Hawkins gets redshirt? That's on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mental Law. I don't know how many games he's played in, Andy. Possibly.
I doubt it's been 4.
I don't know. So real quick here, Brady says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, I don't care if we win every single game left on our schedule. Billy must go.
No, see, that's that. Well, you can say that, but there's 0 chance of that happening on either end. They're not going to win the rest of their games. And if they do, they're not going to let them go.
Everybody's very excited right now, and I get it.
I'm excited too.
But I just try to tell people,
be grounded.
We've won 4 games, and yes, you can question my opinions, and I don't give 2 craps. But the 4 teams we beat, in my opinion, are not very good.
They suck, but it's okay. Because
you got to beat them. If you lose to them, you're really bad.
Yeah, you got to beat them. All I'm going to advise is do not take the Gators on the money line in the next 4 weeks. All right, if you like your money, take the points if you can. That's the way I'm going to look at it. But that could, like I say, ease the pain if you care about money. If you don't, then it doesn't matter.
Gator Josh in Mississippi says, Jace, this is on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. JC, you have fans everywhere. He says, JC, I'm in the Army. He's in the Army.
Yeah, Army.
He goes, nice Army hat.
Yeah,
You want a
baby.
matching shirt, all black with the word Army in yellow to match the hat?
Oh, well, yes, I do. I've got one. I didn't want to bring
Well,
it
then
out
you don't need one.
but I'll take two. And then, I mean, I've got the other one with the logo with the sword going through the helmet, right? Like this diagonally. I've worn that hat before in the show, but this was my new one that just came in. It's so nice. And so thank you there. Let's go Army, beat Navy, beat Navy. Most of the people I know, QB, and I think you might agree with this, most of the people you know are all Navy folks, because it just seems like there was more people in the Navy. I don't know. I could be wrong. But most of the people that I know have connections in their families to Navy over Army. I just, one of my best friends is a Navy, served in Iraq. He owns a bunch of McDonald's restaurants. He's done fabulous for his family and his life. And he's a big Navy guy, ran track, played basketball. But he loves me and we love each other. And he is just, he always has tickets. We can always go to the game. If anybody wants to go to the Army Navy game, let QB know and he'll let me know. But I think it's wonderful that these two teams are doing so well, and Air Force is going to have it handed to them this weekend. QB, Army's got Air Force coming into West Point. Air Force somehow is 1-6, very surprising. Army's going to run them over.
Text on the Titan more text, and I'm not sure who it's from.
You can't win a war without ground troops, baby. You could fly and bomb the living shit out of them, but you must have land. You must take the land, and that's what
this gentleman from the 252, wherever that is. I would like the SEC to play 10 conference games. Great for college football and the SEC. How about y'all?
All for it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I have no problem with it.
Play 10. They did in 2020. Play 10 conference games. Play your big rival FSU and add a subsidy game if you have to, but absolutely play as many college conference games, because I don't think expansion's over. I don't. It is for the SEC for now and maybe for the foreseeable future, but I think eventually we're going to consolidate into 4 super conferences, have 64 teams, something like that. Or
JC, I want you to answer this question.
Yeah.
Tim says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon, it's funny that that the Gators want the coach that got their asses beat by Kentucky.
The Gators want to No, I don't think anybody's calling for Mark Stoops. He looked disinterested.
No. He's saying
I misunderstood.
For the team that got their asses beat by Kentucky. He's talking about Ole Miss.
I beg your pardon. Well, listen, man.
Like I said, for anybody that goes, that team beat that team because that coach.
That doesn't work.
You have no insight of football or sports.
Yes, correct.
It's just like the people say, well, Georgia beat Kentucky by 2, and then Kentucky beat this team, so we should beat that team. That has zero to do with any game.
Yeah, no,
zero.
You're right. It doesn't work that way. But, folks, just hold on to this date. It's October 23rd. By the way, I'm a great uncle now. I had a baby in the family. But it's October 23rd, all right? On November 23rd, we're going to know a lot, because we will have already finished 3 of these next 4 games. And on November 23rd, Mississippi comes to town. The whole world can be different. We have an election coming up. Everything's about to change. We're going to see a lot of things come and answer the questions that we don't have answers for right now. And that includes Florida's season, Billy Napier's future, the future of this country. Everything is coming up here in the next couple of weeks. So it's a big time. And maybe we turn back and we go back to October 23rd in November, and we think of ourselves as, what were we saying back then? Because the reality today is so much different. So we're going to find out, but I can't wait for that Georgia game. It's always on my birthday weekend. I love it. It's one of my favorite things I've ever done is the Georgia-Florida game, and I'll be walking around just hooting and hollering in the park lot.
F45 training merges 3 leading-edge fitness training styles into one 45-minute functional training class. Visit f45training.com to learn more. A few more minutes with JC on the Titan More Highline, courtesy of Comfort Town. All right, here's a long text. This is from William, JC. He says, I would love to get JC's thoughts on yours and Buddy's disagreement yesterday on the program.
What'd you guys do now?
Well, he's talking about it. Basically, Buddy was talking about how Gators fans should be so excited, regardless of how, I can't remember exactly how he phrased it, so I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he was talking about, you got Jaden Ball and DJ, obviously, a lot of good young players, right?
Yes.
Which we can all agree. But what I told Buddy is you can't worry about college athletics, you can't say, okay, man, I can't wait till next year because we got this young guy. This guy's being redshirt. Because half your team could go in the portal and be gone.
Yeah.
Because there's no penalty, right?
Right.
Like back when we played, if JC was played in 4 games and you caught 3 or 4 touchdowns and they said, you know what, we're going to redshirt him, people would be excited because they knew they had you for several years because kids didn't transfer them because you got penalized. So I said, I don't care what happens next year. I don't care who the quarterback is. I don't care who the coach is. All you got to worry about, or all you can worry about, is what happens this year because we have no idea what's going to happen next year.
No, we don't. And we had no idea that DJ Lagway last year would be our starting quarterback for the Florida-Georgia game, did we? So you're right. I mean, it's useless to try to forecast a lot of times. You can pick winners and losers, but you don't really know anything. So it's fun to predict, but yeah, you can't project out there. And I just think Florida's defense the last 2 weeks has shocked people, frankly, and including myself and maybe even you, QB. I don't know. But as far as I'm concerned,
I think they've played a lot better. But
yeah,
they've played nobody that can complete passes. That's my concern.
Okay, I'll give you that, QB. But we were at one point talking about a generationally bad, historically.
Oh, they're absolutely. They're much improved.
We're seeing blue uniforms in the opposing team's backfield. That's different, and so I'm happy to see that. Carson Beck is not your best running quarterback. If you can throw a little bit of pressure on him, like I think Alabama did in the first half, he can turn the ball over. Anything is possible, but you got to get to him. And that's the key, right? Now, Garrett Nussmeier, a lot different story. He moves around. He can throw. He's unbelievable, really. And
he's very good.
Like I said, he probably is the hottest and best quarterback in the league right now. So you got Quinn Ewers, a little less mobile, but really knows Sark's offense, is extremely accurate, good player. Everything about him is good as far as I'm concerned. He was a little surprised at what he saw last weekend, but he'll learn from it, and he'll only get better, in my opinion. He is their quarterback. And then Jackson Dart can just throw darts. So, the defense is going to be tested. It's good that they're playing at their highest level right now. Thank goodness. But I almost wish they didn't have a week off, to tell you the truth, QB. I know it's Georgia coming up, and we've got a gauntlet coming up, but they're hot. I want to keep seeing them play. But maybe this will help get some of these bumps and bruises taken care of. Don't know about Marshall. Nobody said anything about Marshall yet.
I think he's out for the year. That's just my personal opinion.
Well,
I know nothing. So nobody put that crap on Twitter. I know nothing.
Right. So if that's the case, then next man up. Okay, that's all you can do. But maybe it's Cormani McClain. Maybe this is the break he's been waiting for in his life, and he comes out and shocks the world. Who knows? So I just hope that this defense keeps the game reasonable, and that DJ Lagway can continue to expand his talents and show us how special he really is, and maybe surprise some folks. And if they can pull off 2 out of these next 4, I'd be absolutely thrilled. So,
all right, Damon on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law, says, so Shane, if we beat Ole Miss, do y'all think everyone will still want Lane Kiffin? The winning the game has nothing to do with wanting a coach, in my opinion.
You want a guy that can get players.
Maybe I'm in the minority, and I'm not saying we're going to make a coaching change. I've been supportive of Billy, and I've been bashed on this program, and that's fine. I don't care. But just because a coach loses a game does not mean he's a bad coach.
Right. Well, listen, the whole point a month ago when we were in gloom, despair, and doom, the whole point in misery, the whole point was, can we get somebody to attract the kind of players that are going to win conference games here? And you were saying that's Lane Kiffin because of what he's able to attract at Mississippi, for crying out loud. That's what you were saying. And it made sense to me. But, things changed. That was a month ago. Look where we are today. And who knows where we're going to be a month from now. So that's just the way it is.
Asa has a question here. I'm not sure if it's for me or you, JC, on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon. Says, what does November 5th have to do with college football? And if you're Notre Dame, what is going to change everything? Oh, he's talking about the election, isn't he?
Well, my God.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to get into that, but
Jimmy,
you vote for what's best for you. That's all I can say.
Yeah. I'm going to vote on election day. That's my tradition.
I think I may go this week.
Well, it's good to do that if you want. It saves you some time. I just hope everything is legit. Anyway, Jimmy M says, I'm a landscape architect in Orlando. Mulch ships last way longer than pine straw. I'm so confused. I don't know what to do. I'm going to buy what I buy, and they're going to spread it, and I'm going to make it look good, and nobody's going to complain
Well,
about
you're
it.
not going to do anything. You're just writing a check or
Yeah.
giving them a credit card.
Or cash. They don't mind that either. But yeah.
Wolf Gator says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. He says Kirby Smart is going to unleash his front on us, and DJ will have to beat them. That is a whole different animal we are playing in.
Yeah. Listen,
I agree with that.
Jalen Walker is unlike anything we've seen this year. We're going to talk about him next week. Just go back to the Texas game and look at the havoc he wreaked on the Texas offensive line off the edge. They dominated the Longhorns off the edge. They were all over this poor guy. And that's why Sark panicked and replaced Ewers, because he had no chance. And he thought that Manning could be a little bit more mobile and get away from that edge rush. But Jalen Walker dominated that game, and that's why he'll be a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. He's number 11. He plays for Georgia, and he is nasty. And that's the kind of player Alabama, by the way, is missing. They don't have those guys like they did all the time before. Jaron Reed, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Reuben Foster. I go on and on and on and on. They don't have that guy at Alabama, but they got that guy at Georgia now, and he's number 11, and he is going to be a real problem. That's all I'm going to tell you, folks. Just get ready, because DJ's going to be running. He's going to be running around. He's going to have to.
Robert in Fort Myers on the Titan Mark text line says, shoot, one of the teams we lost to, Tennessee, isn't very good either, much less the 4 we beat. Players love playing for Kiffin. That's clear to see.
Tennessee's got one loss. I mean, they got
one.
They're
like number 7 in America, and it just blows my mind. I don't think they're very good,
defense.
But
it's all defense.
They got a good defense. Yeah. I don't think their offense is great, though.
They don't mind running the football, and they did all over Alabama in the second half of that game. And it's just surprising to me to see something like that happen to an Alabama defense. But
yeah. Andy's question on Facebook Live brought to you by Metal Law. Shane, do you think Jack Pyburn will ever get a carry on the goal line? I doubt it, Andy. If we were winning a bunch of games and had things rolling, as a play caller, you wouldn't mind taking that chance. But with everything, every little play is so important right now. You can't trust handing a ball to a guy who's not used to carrying it.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
That's right. It's true. He'll drop it. He'll drop it.
Well, you just never know when the pile, what happens down in there.
You don't. I agree with that, QB. I agree with that.
Van Der says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, even an OJT coach wins every once in a time. I don't know what that means. You know what that means, JC?
OJT? No.
I have no idea what that
means. I miss on some of these acronyms. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's Marissa Bent. Thank you. It's called Rock Zero Mulch. Okay. Thank you, dear.
So, JC, listen to this Day in Sports, brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. Put some star power to work in your financial life at Campus USA Credit Union. 1921, the Green Bay Packers played the first APFA football game, whatever that stands for. They beat the Minneapolis Marines 7-6.
Ooh.
I kind of like that name, the Minneapolis Marines.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
that's this Day in Sports.
Cadets. You got the cadets and the midshipmen. Might as well have the Marines, right? Yeah.
Do you have any idea why?
So, QB, if Army beats Navy first and Navy beats Army second, who wins the Commander-in-Chief trophy? I guess you have to give it to the team.
No, I don't know. There's a lot of things up in the air now with them both in the same conference. They've never been in the same conference.
Yeah. What were you going to say? I've interrupted you.
What's the story? Is it Navy or Army that has the GOAT?
That would be Navy.
Yeah. What's the story behind that?
I should ask Joe. I'm sorry. Again, I'm an Army guy, but Joe is my Navy boy, and he's my wife's family. They're all Navy. My brother-in-law served on a submarine, QB. Think about that. A submarine. A nuclear submarine. He's floating around with nukes in his bed. Oh, God, Tony. Yeah. But,
So, JC, you and I are just morons.
We are. I mean, clearly.
You know what OJT stands for? You didn't. I didn't either. But now we have everybody chiming in. On-the-job training.
Well, thank you, Van. I mean, we have said that before. Listen, hopefully the training's working and he's getting better because they're going to need him the next 4 games. Oh, Lord have mercy. Listen, I think it's fine. Next week, this is an off week. Kind of everybody take a breath, but just, I just don't want folks to get so upset and disappointed if this game and the next game don't go the way they want it to. But it's going to be hard. It's going to be very
Legally
hard.
sports bet in Florida on hundreds of props, parlays, game lines, and more.
Hundreds.
The only legal place to bet online in the state of Florida is Hard
There
Rock.
it is.
Speaking of Hard Rock, JC, our Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's #1 choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte, surrounding areas. Go visit them at peachlanddental.com. We need to pick the Thursday night games.
Oh, see, here's my Hard Rock. Everybody, it looks just like that. It says Hard Rock. Woo! And there's a bonus there. There's a rocket ship going up there. They boost your odds. So fun. All right. So, sorry.
Dan says they used to have to use their goats to eat their way back in the day.
Dan's got the answers, man. He is our PodUp answer man. Everybody has an answer man. Sometimes the host and the guest don't know. So you have to have an answer man. Thursday night, Georgia Southern at Old Dominion. Dominion, -2. I'm taking them.
You're taking the Monarchs?
Yeah. Even though
Georgia, they at home? They're at home?
Yes. It's a home game for.
I'll just be different than you. I'll take the
listen, Georgia
Southern boys.
Blew out James Madison last week. So you gotta love Georgia Southern. Great little school, man. They do it year in and year out. They're 5-2. Gotta love Georgia Southern. Statesboro, Georgia. Wonderful. Vote accordingly, Statesboro. Syracuse at Pittsburgh. Unbeaten Pitt Panthers. Cade, Bell. Syracuse 5-1. This is actually a huge, big ACC game. Huge. The game's in Pittsburgh. They'll have about 25,000 fans there. And Pittsburgh is laying 6. I'm going to take Syracuse in the points. I love Pittsburgh, but Syracuse is
it's probably smart. I'll take Pitt, but Pitt, as Coach Spurrier and I talked about, we love Cade and he's done a great job, but Pitt is winning a lot of close games.
Yeah, they are. But somehow they're 6-0. Narduzzi pulls it out. Then in the NFL on Amazon, which unfortunately I don't have time to deal with. Rams getting 3 at the Vikings. Rams looking to trade Cooper Kupp for a second round.
I read this, or somebody sent it to me, and you're a Rams guy, supposedly.
I am. Go Rams.
Have you heard the rumors of Stafford being traded to the Vikings?
Yes, I've heard the rumors. I don't know why the Vikings would fool with Sam Darnold right now. He's doing great.
I'd take Matt Stafford in a heartbeat.
Absolutely would. The Rams need draft picks to rebuild their team, and Kupp is prone to injury. He's an older player. If they can get a second rounder out of that, I think they should take it. Nakua is young. He'll be back. Tutu Atwell is young. He'll be back. And Matt Stafford, let's face it, he's got so much tread on those tires, but he's a Super Bowl winning Hall of Fame quarterback. So you got to get him if you can, if you're the Vikings and you want to seriously try to win the Super Bowl, because he's a Super Bowl winner. So you get a Super Bowl winner. And Darnold's been great for them. They're outstanding on defense. They're a good team. That division, QB, is the best division in the NFL. The NFC North, Minnesota, Green Bay, the Lions, and the Bears. That is the best division in football, and the Lions, to me, right now, have the inside track. But Green Bay is getting better and better and better. If they stay healthy, watch out for that Love kid. It's unbelievable. And the Bears, with your boy Williams, my God, that is a hell of a division this year. Good for them.
Yeah. Wolf Gator, before we get you out here, JC, on YouTube, says, guys, I relocated to Tampa a few years ago. What are you hearing about the old Gainesville Country Club as a new owner planning to redo the course?
Really?
I highly doubt it. They bought it. I don't know. Nothing has happened. They bought it over a year ago, I think. Nothing has happened.
Well, Tower Hill,
speaking of that,
I can tell you, is building a new golf course in Alachua, folks. Just know that.
JC, pull up your phone real quick. And we're going to do this quickly.
Okay.
Get you out of here.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
But I totally forgot. The PGA Tour has started, right? They got the Zozo Championship.
You're kidding me.
Yes,
really?
in Japan this weekend. A couple weeks ago, the Sanderson was in Jackson, Mississippi. Last week they played. So we're going to pick just 2 golfers to make this fast for our Peachland Dental golf picks. So,
well, I mean, who the hell knows?
Just pick 2 damn golfers.
Give me Max Homa and Justin Thomas.
Okay. Write that in your little notebook.
I got it.
I'm going to take Sahith Theegala and Sanjay M.
Oh, shocker. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Sung J M. Not Tom Kim, but Sung J M.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if Tom Kim's playing in this event, although a Gator carries his bag. So how about that?
You should know this. Okay.
Paul Tesori.
By the way, Hawkstone's got these brand new, beautiful FootJoy shirts with the Florida M going across. They are glorious. I'm going to buy some, show it off, and I highly recommend folks run over to Hawkstone Pro Shop.
If they're going to buy Gator golf memorabilia or apparel, there is no better place in the world right now than Bostic Golf Course. They have
I agree.
Hundreds of Peter Millar and Grayson.
Okay.
It's ridiculous.
I mean,
with the swinging Gator and with the script. So
well done.
All right, that's our public announcement
PSA.
for golf apparel.
PSA. That's our PSA.
All right, JC. Good gracious, I kept you way too long. Sorry about that.
That's
JC.
I'm going to go work out, and then I'm going to go ready to spend more money as furniture and mulch start showing up, and then I got an appointment at 10:30. So I got a lot to do. We'll see you on Friday.
That's JC. Join us on the Titan number hotline, courtesy of Comfort Tip. Quick timeout. Come back. You got some text to get to. You're watching and listening. PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. We'll be right back. We want to take this moment to thank our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills.
Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, Titan MRI, Meldon Law, Peachland Dental, QC Kinetics, Campus USA Credit Union, Dave & Buster's. Gridiron sponsors, Comfort Temp, UF Bookstores, Quality Plumbing, Silverback Concrete, Rules Ogra State Farm, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, F45, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Miapa Latin Cafe, Gator Bait Media, Aikido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, 84 Lumber, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, MG&A Wealth, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Nest and Wild, Florida Victorious, Electronics World.
If you're interested in promoting your business on the show, call Freddie at 352-284-3733. If you like what we're doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Hi there, this is Coach Steve Spurrier, and I want to let you know that by popular demand, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill's delicious brunch is now served in a premium buffet. You have spoken, we have listened, and we're now serving Gainesville's only elevated buffet, complete with an omelet station, ginger sage chicken sausage, shredded short rib, and of course our chicken and waffles. Plus, you can enjoy bottomless mimosas and Bloody Marys. So join us every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3 for the best brunch in town.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Florida Cracker's the brand for original Floridians. Great food and Southern hospitality in the center of the universe. Brooksville, Florida, floridacracker.com. I want to thank JC for joining us on the Titan MO hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. I have 496 text messages on the Titan MR text line. We're going to try to get to some of these. Kevin says, yes, thank you for the golf picks, going to Hard Rock to bet your golf picks. Well, we just kind of threw those out there because we totally forgot golf season has started. Mark says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, Chiefs, Lions, Super Bowl, very possible. 49ers are beat up. It seems like the 49ers always have people hurt, but the Lions are playing really good football. Jared Goff's outstanding right now. Ben Johnson dialing them up offensively, even without Aiden Hutchinson. Or they're playing good football, very good football. Wolf Gator says he never thought UF would get to the point where we were just trying to get to a 500 record. Yeah, that's kind of where we are right now, though. I just lost my train of thought, what I was getting ready to say. Anyway, we got a lot of people talking about on here where JC can go get cheaper mulch. Andy asks, how fun is it to do your weekly show with the HBC? Cracked you up a few times yesterday. He always does. He's one of the funniest human beings, and he doesn't even know it. That's why I wish Back in the day, people could see how he coached, how he ran meetings, how he gave out playbooks. Well, it really wasn't a playbook, it was just a piece of paper. How we practiced. I think, in today's world where, the SEC network, they do these things where they have cameras out at practices, in the summertime, and they run them in the all season. If people saw how we practiced, they'd be like, how in the world is this team winning any games? But he kept it fun. We goofed around at times, but I think that's the way to do it. And maybe I'm in the minority because that's how I was coached, but I love that. That's why I've always said that's kind of how Lane runs his practices. That's one reason why I think they're so similar. Not saying there's going to be a coaching change. Do not tweet that. I'm just stating things that I've noticed over the years. So anyway, Gators probably will practice. Tomorrow will be their last day this week, and they'll get the week off. That's usually how bye weeks work. Come back ready to roll Sunday night and practice on Monday, getting ready for the Dogs. We've had some people on here saying that they've heard that Georgia is tampering with DJ Lagway. I don't know how they know that. There's nothing you can do about it, quite honestly, if it is true. So anyway, Ruzover State Farm Office is a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visit ogreinsurance.com. Give them a call at 352-240-1779. Don't forget, if you have nothing to watch on TV tonight, obviously you got a little college football. You got Liberty at Kennesaw State, who's struggling in their first year at FCS football. And then Middle Tennessee State and Jacksonville State